Ashu, one of the questions that I have, as to when you talk about MSME, are there challenges before COVID and now? They are the same, or they have changed? Because the reason I'm asking this is some of the concerns are on the delayed payment, then the huge compliance requirement that MSME have, and are there any steps which have been taken, towards this so that the ease of doing business uh, is better?
Yeah,
So that's the question to you.
yeah. So because there are challenges before the MSMEs that existed pre-pandemic that have continued, and a lot more have got added to the list. So one thinks about the top three challenges, and every survey for all markets. So this is not just a emerging economy versus developed economy thing. It's an issue with the sector, is about access to market, access to credit, and productivity. These three challenges were there before. They continue. In fact, they've gotten much worse. And a World Bank study that was done, and then I saw a report even done by RBI and the Ministry of MSME in India, which are pretty similar. Basically, all data points to the fact that the smaller the size of the company, the bigger the transmission of all challenges, particularly demand, supply, labor challenges. And if you think about what the pandemic did, it sort of literally did a hullabaloo on all these three. And you naturally needed money power to stay through this phase. And the availability of money first sitting is much more with the big companies than the MSMEs. So, between shutting down operations, letting go of people, stopping doing business, everything happened. In fact, the MSME study by the ministry says that 95% of MSMEs face challenges, right? Volumes were down 46% in April 2020. Now, if one would have thought that coming to August, when they started lifting restrictions in 2020, it would have been better. 70% continue to face problems, and volumes still showed no signs of getting back, even back to, I would say, the March, April levels. Come 21, the challenges remained. And even as we speak, because we are experiencing the third wave, while governments have got much more calibrated, smarter, the reality is the world has become a start-stop economy, right? And MSMEs do not have the wherewithal to live with this kind of uncertainty. And that is costing them big time. The second biggest challenge is technology can be a great leveler, but it can be a great divide. And if you look at the big companies versus the rest, unfortunately, it has not acted in favor of MSMEs, because when the pandemic hit, there was no real time. Your reaction time was next to nothing. Having said that, I'm very impressed, because even at CRISIL, we did a lot of work to see how much of progress has happened and how they are coping in 2022 versus 2020, because we've been living with this pandemic for 2 years, right? The third thing, and not enough is being spoken about, is about remote work or hybrid. The MSME sector and where they play, their ability to do remote work, very, very limited. And to cope with hybrid and the kind of investments that is required, not there. And to top it, the challenges around cyber, these people get hit, they don't even realize that their data has gotten compromised, right? At the same time, all's not lost, because you have enough of successes also happening in that sector, but unfortunately it's a very, very small percentage. You raised a very important point around compliance, around delays. So while a lot has happened from an ease of doing a business perspective, keeping the pandemic in mind, and I'll come to the broader themes, the challenge is the government happens to be a pretty large provider to this segment. There used to be delays in direct benefit transfer, that's improved, but the payments don't come on time. I mean, these are all they're subcontractors to the contractors, to the contractors to the government. So they are the last mile, and they face an enormous amount of cash crunch. And I personally think, what can be a game changer for this segment are really two things. One, you've got to penalize anybody who pays the MSME late. It should be an outright penalty. It should be monstrous. So people will absolutely stop doing it, and it'll have to start with the government companies. The second, one of the schemes that did well during the pandemic was the whole emergency credit guarantee scheme. But the problem is, you need to be a running business to get it. If 95% got impacted and 70% volumes fell, and we have still about a year and a half to go to get back to pre-pandemic levels, you actually need soft loans and development finance, and not your usual working capital, right? So there is enormous distance to travel, and the price to travel this distance is big, because this is the largest employment generator and the largest contributor to exports and the economy. So the 5 trillion dream is not happening if we don't fix this segment. And the last part of your question was around ease of doing business. Think about it. We are talking about it, but the World Bank scrapped this in 21, because we all know what happened when that whole data issue came to light. But nevertheless, I think India has progressed tremendously. Forget the rank, etc. Right? Reality is, in the last 5 years, think about how many procedures have got simplified. Think about how much of digitization has happened. Land records. Talk about registration. Through the pandemic, it happens. You don't need to go anywhere. Rental agreements. And it all happens very smoothly. At one level, we can keep cribbing, but this whole digitization has made a massive difference. You look at the penetration of electricity, look at the penetration of accounts, credit, etc., and the IBC, creditor rights, and you think about the steps taken on governance from a minority shareholder perspective. So a lot of progress has happened, but this is an ongoing thing. You move 10 steps, you realize there are 10 more to cover. Correct. So all in all, has to be done, because I don't think there's a choice.
I think you have very well articulated the concerns of MSME, and also very well articulated the steps taken by the government.